Hi, this is Jen with American Knitter, and today's project is a super easy, soft and cozy infinity scarf. I've tried other patterns, but this one is my favorite. I've given it away for Christmas gifts and other gifts, and it's everyone loves it. It's a really fantastic scarf. It is a beginner level project, which is my favorite because they're easy and fast. So pretty much anybody can do this. If you know how to knit and purl, you can do this infinity scarf. So what you need for this scarf, first of all, is a 6-ounce skein of Lion brand homespun yarn. The reason I like to use the homespun yarn is you can see that it is unique in its texture, and it knits up really nicely, and it's very cozy and soft because of this texture here. I'm excited to do this scarf because it's forest green, and I think this will be really fun color, but I've done lots of different colors and they've all turned out really nice. Also, I use a size 11 knitting needle. This is a little bit bigger than the suggested needle for this yarn, but I like the open knit a little bit more than a tight knit for this type of scarf. So before we get started, I'm just going to remind you to please subscribe. Let me know if you like the video, any comments that you have or any questions, and I can get back to you on that. Also, remember to, when you subscribe, ring the bell, so that way you get notified when we put up other projects and videos on this channel. Okay, so in order to start, first of all, you just cast on 24. Okay. So I think I have enough yarn right there. So we're just going to cast it on. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay, so I have actually, it looks like it's not very many, but it will knit out a lot wider than it looks right now. You want to just make sure that it is in multiples of 4, okay, because of the pattern that I'm going to be using. Make sure it's in a multiple of 4. I have done it up to 28 just to give it some extra thickness, but sometimes it feels like the scarf is just a little short when you do 28. So 24 seems to be kind of the magic number right there. Okay, so, and I'm just going to say, it looks like I had plenty of yarn left over, and I'm just going to say the way I knit is very unique. I've just come up with my own style of knitting, so if you want to try my way, go ahead. People tell me I do it wrong, and they tell me I knit backwards, but to me it is the fastest way to knit, and it turns out pretty much the same as any other knit and purl out there. Okay, so after you've cast on the 24 or 28, depending on how thick you want it, the first thing you're going to do is knit across. Okay, so let's just knit that. And like I said, my way of doing this is a little bit different than probably your way, so you can either try how I'm doing it, or you can just do what you're already used to. Okay, yeah, and I did this a little bit tight, so just got to get this first row done and loosen it up a bit. And I think my knitting needles are a little long because I keep hitting my table. Okay, there we go. Okay, almost done. So one more left, and 2. Okay, there we go. So now we have a completed row of knit, and you can see already that it's spreading out a little bit more. So like I said, it's wider than it looks when you cast it on. Okay. All right. So you knit the first row and then the second row, knit again. So basically, this is the garter stitch, right? So you're just going to knit twice. Okay, 2 rows. Your first 2 rows are knit. All right. So here we go. Back again. Like I said, this is a very easy pattern. It's pretty quick. And you'll see why when we get to the next rows. And then you're just going to repeat. It's only, I guess there's 6 rows that you just keep repeating. So very easy. You can just do it whenever you have some spare time. Pull it out, get knitting. You don't have to keep counting or find out where you are in the pattern, because you just keep repeating the 6 rows. Okay, almost there. Ooh, I need to get my yarn out of my skein here. Pull it out kind of tight. And one more. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have 2 knit rows, okay, are our first 2 rows. After that, we're going to get into a little bit more texture for the pattern, okay, and we are going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, all the way down to the end, okay. So here we go. Knit, knit, purl, and purl. Knit, knit, purl, purl. Okay, so you just complete this to the end. You just keep repeating the knit, the 2 knit, and the 2 purl. Oh, and if, so homespun yarn is not as easy to find as it used to be. But there's a link below in the description, and it will tell you where to get homespun yarn, so you can order it through the link below. Also, I do sell my scarves on my GigiGo's website. It's a Facebook store and an Instagram store, and those links are also going to be in the description below. So if you're just interested in looking to see what I've done and the completed project a little bit more and purchasing one, go ahead and take a look at those as well. Okay, so we've done knit 2 and purl 2. Super easy. Like I said, we're going to turn it around. So it's hard to see, but because of the texture. But now we're just going to continue knit, purl, and purl, knit, I can't say it, knit 2 and purl 2, okay? So it's just going to knit on the knits and purl on the purls. Okay, so we go back across, starting with the knit. Okay, so we go knit, knit, purl, and purl, purl, purl. Okay, so all the way to the end. Okay, just a couple more. Knit, knit, and 2 more purls. Okay, so now that was 2 rows of 2 knits and 2 purls, and we're just going to repeat that so that you have 4 rows total of that knit, 2 knit, and 2 purl pattern, okay? So let me just complete that. So once again, knit, knit, purl, purl. Easy, easy pattern. Okay, so I'm just finishing up the 4th knit, knit, purl, purl row, or the 6th row total on the project so far. Okay, there we go. So now let me just show you. Okay, so what it looks like so far, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see how there's a little bit of that in and out stitch from the knit and the purl or texture. Okay, so that is basically the pattern right there. Okay, those 6 rows, and then you're just going to repeat it. So it was 2 rows of knit. Okay, just knitting across. So knit across this way, knit across back to the back to where you started, and then you do 2 knits and 2 purls 4 times. Okay, and then once you've done that, so a total of 6 rows, you just start over again with the knitting across of 2 rows. Okay, so now I'm just going to knit across all the way again. Okay, so just knit those 2 rows. Okay, I'm just finishing up my second row of knitting across. Okay, so we're row 8 now of this scarf. So now I'm going back to the knit, knit, purl, purl. Okay. So here's row 9, and we knit, knit, and oops, purl, purl. Okay, and I'm going to do this a total of 4 times, 4 rows. Whoops. Okay, and then again, just repeat the same 6 rows. Okay, so I have repeated the pattern, the 6-row pattern, 3 times now. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's knit 2 rows, and then it's a knit, knit, purl, purl, knit, knit, purl, purl for 4 rows. Okay, so that's been repeated 3 times. You can see how the texture is coming out in this pattern. Also, that you can see that it's wider than it looked when we did the cast on. It's actually approximately 8 inches across. Okay, when you lay it all out nice and flat. Okay, so it's about 8 inches wide, and the length will be long enough to wrap twice around your neck, which I think is the most cozy way to wear this infinity scarf. Okay, so I will keep on knitting and show you as it gets further along. So happy knitting. I'll catch up with you a little later. So as you can see, I've knit through the whole skein, the same pattern, just repeated, and you can see how it has presented itself. And I really like how it turns out with this type of yarn. It's just really cozy and soft. The scarf right now is about 64 inches in length, and that is going through the whole skein. I do have a long tail of yarn at the beginning. I'm going to use that to sew the scarf together to make it the infinity scarf. I'll show that in a moment. But right now what I'm going to do is bind it off. So so the pattern obviously was knit 2 rows, and then knit 2, purl 2 for 4 rows. And then as I got to the end, I only had enough to do 2 rows because I want enough to bind it off. And it doesn't really matter that much to finish the pattern, but I'm just going to do just a regular bind off. It doesn't matter too much. So what I'm going to do is so knit, knit. Okay, so I have 2 knits, and then I'm going to pull the first one over the second one. So I now have 1 on my needle instead of 2, and then I knit again. So I have 2, and then I pull the first one over the second one, so I'm back to 1. So I will continue doing this row to finish this off. And I'm really excited about this green color. I have a few more colors I purchased a while ago, and they've been sitting, waiting for me to knit them. So now that I've got this green one done, I think I'm going to move on to, I have a really pretty blue in the same yarn. So I think I'll do that one next. Okay, so I am to the last one. Okay, so there's that. Then I'm just going to pull it over. Okay, so now I just have one left and none on my other needle. So we're going to put that down, and then I'm just going to take the rest of, or the yarn, so I'm going to make my loop a little bit bigger, and then I'm just going to pull this through. Okay, all right, so I pulled it through, and then just tighten it. Okay, all right, so there we go. So now I have a nice scarf. So if you really want to leave it like that, I guess you could, but I really love this pattern as an infinity scarf. So really what all you have to do now is attach the ends. However, to give it a really nice, just a nicer lay, when you wrap it around your neck, what you want to do is add a twist to it. So first of all, you're going to lay the scarf out flat. Okay, so there it is flat. And then I'm going to actually twist this side. So I have a twist in the middle now, and then sew these two together. Okay, so you can see that there is a twist in the scarf. It just gives it, it's not so flat when it lays. It gives it a nice bulk when you wrap it around your neck. Okay, and then the only thing you need now is to sew the two edges together using the leftover yarn. So I have a nice needle to do that with. Okay, and then so now we're just going to sew those ends together. I'm sure you could do this however you want. Just don't make it too tight so that you still have a little bit of stretch on your scarf on the seam. But I just go across the top and just go through each side. Okay, nothing too fancy. It's really hard to see the seam anyway, just because of the texture of the yarn. So it's not super noticeable, which is really nice. So you can just do it without being too super careful. But again, don't make it too tight so that you still have some stretch. Okay, I'll just keep doing that. Okay, so see, just keep on sewing. Okay, so I've finished sewing the ends together, and now all I have to do is weave in the ends, which is pretty easy. So I did also a little loop and pulled it through just to tighten it at the end. And now to weave it in, it's really simple. Just put your needle through a couple of the knit loops, and then pull the yarn through. There we go. Okay, and then just going to clip it, and it will be hidden very nicely and nobody will ever know that it's there. Okay, now I just have to do it on the other side. Oh, and my yarn is really long, so I'm going to make it just a little bit shorter because I don't need it that long to hide it. Okay. And I'll have to show you how this looks when it's done. So we're almost there. Oh god, I can't thread my needle. Okay, there we go. Okay, so just weaving in the end on this one. So again, just find a couple little loops to go through. go in about an inch or so, maybe a little more. And, oops, I'm tangling myself up. There we go. Sort of. And pull, oh, something's stuck. There we go. And pull it through. Okay, there we go. And then just clip it. All right, and no one will know. Okay, so here is our finished infinity scarf. Try to move out. Okay, here we go. So very cozy, very soft. It's a lot of fun to wear all these different colors with any outfit. And then, okay, so you can either wear it long, or my favorite way is to wrap it. So you would put your head right here and then wrap and go over a second time. So you have this nice bunched double wrap look. Okay, all right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please comment, let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you next time.